Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You know, if you were in one of my classes and this was the beginning of a new week, the first thing I would say would be the last time we were together, or the last time we met. The last time we met for this activity, there was peace in Europe, and now we have a war. So things do change, and the city of Early changes with it. Okay. On the screen, you have a slide of showing the membership of the city council. This is your city government. And we're going to hear from all of these individuals as we proceed through this presentation. We have grown. I don't know if you can make it out too well. There's another screen over here on the other side if you want to look there. In the year 2000, the census said we had 2,588 people in the city. 2010 says 2,785. The census of 2020 reports us at 3,282, which is a growth of 17.9% since the last census. However, the census is 2 years ago. And now we estimate, and this is not us, but some agencies that actually do this, that we are at 3,526. So we are still growing and growing quite well. It's 7.4% in 2 years. So we can talk about Early as growing as far as population, as well as we can talk about Early growing in other ways as well. Let's watch the video on Charles Matlock. I'm here with Councilman Charles Matlock, who's been on the City Council for a couple of years. And Charles, I'd like for you to give us a little background about yourself and when and why you decided to become a member of the City Council and serve the city.
Thank you, Mayor. You know, I believe that the city is a business, and my background has always been business. You know, I've enjoyed the business aspect of working with the city and how it's run and being a part of that. And
you know, we've seen a lot of growth, and sales tax revenue, for instance, gone up substantially. What do you see as a factor in this growth?
Well, I'd like to give the bulk of the credit to two major entities. One would be our manufacturing and industry, and the other would be our terrific MDD. The city of Early voted for the creation of the Municipal Development District in 2016. It allowed the city to have a little bit more flexibility when attracting businesses. You know, when you think of some of the businesses we've attracted in Early, Buena Auto Group, Burger King, Starbucks, and Hobby Lobby, and Taco Casa, and Discount Tire. For a small town like Early, to have the magnetic pull that we've had.
There are not many cities of about 3,000 people who have some of the businesses we have.
And it's all in the dynamics of our traffic count.
How does property tax play a role in this?
Who doesn't want to live, you know, where the property taxes are low? Even all these projects that we take on, you know, we've been able to keep our taxes down.
And we know from the census records and the count that we have grown quite a bit.
We've probably grown more in the last 2 years than we have in the last 10.
That's right. What would you say if someone was to ask you, is this a positive thing, or are we going to ultimately follow the same path of other cities that have become so large that we lose that character?
I don't see us doing that.
Why?
Our emphasis, because we're so small and started as a small town, it had to be mom and pop. When somebody's looking for a house, you hear on TV these days, oh, I want one with character. Well, the character of Early has to do with the backbone of the mom and pop businesses.
That helps make us the city we are. Thank you, Charles, for visiting with me today. And we want to appreciate that you took the time to talk to me.
Thank you, Mayor.
Charles Matlock, one of our councilmen. Lillian, you can clap if you want. We mentioned sales tax in that video. And over the last few years, our sales tax collections have really gone up. As you can see on the bar graph on the far right, We've always approached the budget year with a very conservative figure for our sales tax. We do that on purpose because we would rather have more come in than we planned on than plan on and not have come in. So our figures for what we budget and what we actually have received in the last several years anyway has been much more than we had budgeted or thought we were going to receive. But that means the next year we have that much more project money available. And that rather than go at the other rate and say, oh gee, we're going to get $4 million in sales tax this year and we only get $1 million, but we've budgeted all these projects based on that figure. So we're doing a job in a different way. We're accomplishing the same purpose, but we're moving in a realistic financing as opposed to a pie in the sky type financing. As far as property taxes go, our property tax is this year 0.4993 per 100. We're the second lowest in the county, Blanket being the lowest as far as property tax. A lot of people don't know that. And this chart shows you the property tax from 2012 to 2021. It also shows you 2007 when we were at 48 cents. And we've hovered around that every year. We had a little blip up one year, but we've come back down, and we're continuing to try to keep it around 50 cents or less per 100. Again, we are blessed, and if you haven't figured it out, sales tax is what makes us be able to do things. Property tax keeps the doors open, but all the special projects are sales tax projects. Next slide. All right. I'm here with Councilman Leland Ackard, who's been on the council for several years. Give us a little background about yourself and why you chose to allow yourself to be elected to the city council.
Through my work in the media, I was able to get a firsthand look at how the city of Early operates. And the city of Early is really unique in the way it plans its operations and the way it conducts itself and the way it finances its government. I wanted to be a part of what Early's doing and be a part of keeping that tradition going toward the way the city conducts itself, and I wanted to be a part of the next phase.
What do you think is the city's biggest priority when it comes to making decisions about spending tax money?
So when it comes to the city of Early, our priority tends to be on making sure that our infrastructure is not only maintained in the sense that we're fixing things that break and doing routine maintenance, but that we're also putting investment into our infrastructure, which will provide some longevity to that infrastructure, which will minimize our maintenance cost over the long term. And so the second priority of the city of Early is to make sure that we provide things that cultivate an excellent quality of life. And so we've done quite a bit of investing in upgrading and doing some work out at the baseball fields, upgrading Mcdonald Park and getting that park built and up and going. And one of the really great things about Early that makes it unique is how much private donation goes into helping us upgrade these city parks and these city facilities.
What do you see as Early's future as it relates to growth, infrastructure, and how we manage these opportunities and when it comes to spending?
I think when you talk about Early's future and everything that you just mentioned, you almost have to center that conversation on the development of the town center. The development of the town center is going to be such an amazing opportunity for the city of Early. First of all, it's going to continue that growth in economic activity which drives sales tax revenue. And that is going to take the burden off of property taxpayers to fund the city of Early. And so that's the type of taxation I like to see happen. That's why the city center, the town center, is such a big project, because the town center is going to generate so much for us. The park that's going to be built there, that we're talking about quality of life with the park, that's going to be a draw, I believe, to the town center. The town center itself, when you're dealing with the retail development that'll take place there, hotel occupancy, event space, nightlife, that's going to generate an incredible amount of economic activity that the city of Early will feel and benefit from for generations. I think that the town center has the potential to completely rebrand Early as a destination
Well, Leland, we really appreciate that you're taking the time to share with us your views and ideas about what the city should be doing.
It was a pleasure, Mayor. Thank you so much.
Leland mentioned infrastructure, etc., and then we come to the public works. This is water, wastewater, and sanitation departments. And like everyone else, we do face challenges. In this post-COVID world, we all face challenges, and one of them is labor shortage and the rising cost of construction materials. We projected on one project the price would be X, and when we actually got ready to do it, it was Y, much higher than we had thought. So we have that to fight every day, as well as the availability of the material. And then we throw in fuel and equipment costs, and so we've got a lot of issues or challenges we have to look at. Solutions include improving pay and work environment for our employees. We have very little turnover in our departments, and that's a great asset for the city of Early. We prioritize our repairs, prioritize construction. We don't take on more at any one time than we can actually afford to do and get accomplished. And we also work with public and private relationships together where the cost is shared. And we also try to conserve. As far as projects go, we have installed several thousand feet of new water and sewer lines within the town since last we met. We are working to replace aged water meters and transmitters. Somebody at church one Sunday asked me, what's that meter reader doing out there today on Early Boulevard? And I said, we don't have any meter readers. Turns out it was working for Frontier, but all our meters are radio, so we don't have that burden to go out every month and spend hours reading the water meters. But we are having to replace them because some of them have been in the ground quite a while now. We're also working to add new fire hydrants to improve our fire protection. We're identifying areas of town to install new water valves so that when we do have one of those misfortunate things called a water break, we don't turn the water off for the whole town. Instead, we isolate it down. And on major water and sewer rehab projects, we are using less contract labor and more in-house labor with a phased approach as a way to get it done. As far as the streets department is concerned, we've adopted a capital improvement plan which prioritizes and identifies street projects for the next 5 years. And that, by the way, is available on our website if you're interested and want to know when your street's going to finally get repaved. Our street maintenance program resurfaces about 1 mile worth of street per year. For FYI, we have about 30 miles of pavement within the city of Early. That's amazing figures when you consider how small the area actually is. But we have a lot of pavement. We've completed over 80 street repair projects this year, pothole repairs, etc. And we also rebuilt Terre Haute completely. In our town center project, which we'll talk about more in depth in a few minutes, we are currently constructing what's called Kelsey Way and Buena Vista. You may have, as you drove down Early Boulevard yesterday for sure, you may have seen our crew doing some work between La Botana and the auto parts store, and that's Buena Vista, and access into the town center area. Within the next month, we're going to go out for bids to begin the rehab project and reconstruction project on Autumn Drive. And one of the neat things that we really fall into every once in a while, we get a grant from TxDOT to build 1.64 miles of sidewalks, and that's going to give us $870,000 to do that project. So we're going to make even more of our town accessible by foot, so it's not all driving. As far as the police department goes, an average year, and these figures are pretty normal from year to year, we have about 1,500 traffic stops in Early per year, and they answered over 2,800 calls for service in 2021. And of course, the quality of our service of our officers is unmatched. We can brag about it a little bit. Our police department is also involved in a number of community activities, such as Night Out, National Night Out every fall. You may have participated in that, your street may have, and the Dreams program at the school. We also have acquired some new equipment. We're on a process where every so many years we replace the vehicles, and we're on a calendar there for that, so we don't buy every police car the same year. And we've also gotten a $33,000 grant from the Department of Criminal Justice for a new pickup, which can go off-road. And we need that very badly sometimes in some places around our city. We're also always seeking to hire the best qualified and professional employees. And we have, in 2021, we adopted a new code enforcement hired a new code enforcement officer. And he's a fully commissioned policeman as well as a code enforcement. So he supplements the regular patrols as well as enforcing code and helping our community look as nice as we'd like for it to look. As far as the fire department goes, we have been blessed with a very good fire department, and the whole community and the area around has really been blessed with all these grass fires we've had recently. Currently, the department has 4 full-time employees, 12 part-time employees, and 12 volunteers. And we pay all of these, including our volunteers, and that tells the volunteers how much we appreciate their help when they go out to fires as well. In 2021, we obtained 2 new brush trucks, and those are, if you not understand what I'm saying, the brush truck is the one that goes out there and there's grass fires in the field. So we can't take our big professional trucks out there. We have to take something to manage the terrain. And we also bought a new command truck for the police fire chief. And our ISO rating, which is an insurance rating that affects every one of you, for the house insurance or building insurance that you pay, we've got a new rating of 3. I'm here with Travis Oaf, who's a council member on the City Council of Early. Travis has been a council member for several years. Travis, what motivated you to become a council member after your years on the fire department?
Well, having been on the department for a lot of years and seeing times when there wasn't money or didn't appear to be money available for some things that we needed, I felt like maybe I could help out in that area.
How have you seen our council support the fire department, the police department, and EMS?
Just in tremendous ways. We're always trying to find the money that we'll need to hire the best individuals that we can, to have the best equipment that we can, the facilities. It has come a long ways. Of course, our revenue coming in is more than what we've had in several years.
Well, the fact that we have a 7-man police department and EMS stationed out here, and the fact that we've also been able to increase the number of vehicles and trucks that we have in the fire department, plus the fact that Early Boulevard has a traffic count of over 30,000. Do you think that we are adequately supporting those problems and areas?
Adequate right now. Of course, we don't know what's going to come up in the future, but I feel like as a council, we'll always do everything we can to make sure that we are staffed and supplied and equipped. In the last several years, we've got some good equipment. This last year, we were able to help finance a new brush truck, a new command vehicle, got a new police chief's car. We've hired a new code enforcement officer. Being able to hire full-time firefighters, more police officers, that's going to help us out in the long run.
Well, Travis, even though we've seen a decline in the number of volunteers and the fact that our volunteers are graying, what do we see that are still benefits and pluses?
We still, I don't know how many active members we have right now, I think about 10. Even though we do have paid people on staff, but the volunteers, if we get a call for mutual aid with another department in the area, the volunteers can go and do that mutual aid where our paid people can stay at the station and be available for whatever else might come up.
And what about the insurance rating?
I think we're at a 3 now. The ISO stands for Insurance Standards Organization. The insurance companies get together and set up a standard for what they feel like the cost of coverage is for a certain area.
And you mentioned we're now at a rating of 3. What does that mean?
The lower your rating is, the better it is the cost of your insurance is.
Great. Well, we thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And turning to recreation and parks, during the last fiscal year, the city made several improvements to the ballparks at City Park, adding concrete sidewalks, retaining walls, lined with Austin stone, new scoreboards, backstops have been installed, and one of the things our parks crew is really proud of is the cedar wood dugouts that have been put into the park as well. And thanks to all these improvements, this summer, the city of Early will host a statewide baseball tournament at our parks. And that will, of course, impact sales tax and hotels and everything else, as well as quality of life for our own citizens. As far as Mcdonald Park goes, we host the Smart City Expo there, the movie in the park events at Mcdonald Park. And beginning this year, we're going to host an event called Courts and Controllers, which is a combination video game tournament and a 3-on-3 basketball tournament. And that's going to be organized and helped, facilitated by Howard Payne's men's basketball team. Currently, through generous donations, we have begun to build a pavilion on the old football locker pad. This was built in memory of Deborah Shields, a longtime Early resident and supporter. And we are going to have, as soon as it's completed, a memorial and grand opening ceremony for that facility. And that pavilion will be available to be used for picnics, etc., etc. I'm here with Gary Forshey, who's a member of the City Council of Early, and also a former member of the Municipal Development District Board for the City of Early. Gary, tell us what you think about the ongoing effort to make the softball and baseball park better for ADA and for spectators.
The sports complex is just magnificent. I mean, it's got ADA compliant. You can sit behind the foul line on those fields. Handicap parking are accessible. The sidewalks run where you'd generally be walking through mud or grass. You could hustle down around there to third baseline to contest a call or something, even if you were mobile challenged.
Do you think that we're making some progress in making quality of life better for our citizens?
Absolutely. It's almost like a utopia for a younger person.
What about McDonald Park? And made so many changes like the walking trail and the sound garden.
We've put in a volleyball court, excellent basketball court. We have our park benches.
And of course we've got the walking track too, don't we?
Yes.
And
same old 440 yards, I suppose.
Yes, that didn't change at all, did it? and we've also taken down the old locker room. And what are we doing with that?
Well, we left the concrete slab there to make a pavilion.
Pavilion
there.
Yes. And that's going to be available for all sorts of uses, family get-togethers, church groups, civic groups to use. And then, of course, our latest project, the Town Center Park.
It's going to help the community and the surrounding areas, and it's unique. And there's going to be a lot of activities there too. You're going to have pond and fishing, kayaking.
For those that like to walk, we're going to have another walking trail.
It's a lighted walking trail.
Yeah.
And coin-operated batting cages.
Why is it important for the City Council and the city to try to improve our park facilities?
I think it's very important. It enhances the standard of living for the community as a whole and surrounding areas. And when you may be working and not be able to make everything, but it'll be available to you when you get home or have the time to enjoy these recreational activities.
Well, Gary, we've been talking and planning about these park improvements for a long time. Even before you came on the City Council, as you're aware, it's been an ongoing conversation.
Yes.
It sure is great to see these dreams come to fruition, doesn't it?
Most certainly, most certainly.
Well, thank you for sharing with us and our audience the plans we have for recreation and quality of life issues with the City of Early.
Thank you, Mayor.
Now, we've touched on the economic impact already, but we wanted to talk about it a little differently and eventually move on to the MDD. More business, more housing in Early leads to more economic activity. And if this was my classroom, I'd be over there by the screen and pointing the circle out to you. If we have increased quality of life at the top of the screen and go to the right, new developments lead to higher sales tax, which leads to lower property taxes, which leads to more economic activity, and it continues on. More business traffic attracts developers and businesses to build in early, and the cycle continues. We are, of course, in a rural part of the country, but we are beginning to have more and more urban amenities, and if that continues as a trend, the city of Early becomes more increasingly attractive for future developments and future population to relocate here. The Early Convention and Visitors Bureau improves our local economy by maximizing hotel, restaurant, and retail sales by tourism, visitors, and the traveling public.
I'm Brian McHugh with Spirit of Texas Winery in Early, Texas. This is my wife, Maura.
We've been open about 5 years this month, this April.
When we were first married, we had a gift store in the Houston area, and then I spent, most of my career in primarily sales, and then
I taught for over 30 years, so this is retirement for me, and so.
Yeah, the joke is that when we decided to do this, I told Maura that we would, I'd promise her a lifetime supply of wine, and.
Originally, we were looking between the Waco, San Angelo area, and we were looking at some wineries that were for sale, and they were pretty far off the beaten path, and we came across this piece of property right on the 183, and just thought this is something we can grow as we grow.
We have a number of guests that come from all over. I mean, we're a host location for the Harvest Host program. So we have, like tonight, we have an RVer. I'm not sure where they're from, but we've had RVers stay overnight from all over the country, and that's been a fun program. But just being off the highway, we have guests from all over anyway.
There were some young ladies that came in from Canada, and actually they were visiting Canada from overseas, and they decided to just travel the states. They thought this is our time to do it, and so they were just traveling the states, and it was really fun to hear their adventure.
Leadership from Early, what they're doing, and the focus on trying to bring more to this area, it benefits everybody. I mean, residents, businesses. We have a lot of people that just are coming in. They want to just spend a weekend, in Brown County and stuff, and they might be camping at the lake or staying at a bed and breakfast or a hotel in town. But the options now that they can see, visit, shop, eat is growing, and I think that's what's to make the area better. We had some guests in just the other day saying we were kind of like a hidden gem here because we're just a couple hours from the DFW, we're 2 hours from Austin, 3 hours from San Antonio. It's a great location, and a lot of people are just looking to get away.
One way we bring people in is through the Convention and Visitors Bureau. And of course, the CVB is very active, responsible for attracting tourists to the area. Sponsors a lot of different activities, such as the summer concert series, a movie in the park. And one of the things that was really very popular and a successful attendance last fall was the Hocus Pocus, which was out at Mcdonald Park during Halloween.
Economic development requires a lot of teamwork, and a lot of attention is given to bringing new businesses to town. The Early Chamber of Commerce plays a vital role in, once those businesses are in town, helping establish those businesses in Early, giving them network opportunities. There's a lot of things that the Early Chamber of Commerce does that creates an environment where our businesses can thrive. Everybody knows the Early Chamber of Commerce, or any Chamber of Commerce, for their ribbon cuttings that they do. You see these ribbon cuttings at new businesses when they open, and there's an opportunity to get some publicity for those businesses during these ribbon cuttings. But the other things that people may not know are the things that go on after the ribbon cutting. The lunch and learn opportunities, the lunch mob type situations, the coffee in the morning or networking events, after hours events. These events give the business and their employees an opportunity to meet with other business owners, to just talk about, trends that they're seeing, challenges that they're dealing with, ways to overcome certain obstacles. I think during the COVID response, networking between businesses and learning how to navigate some of those challenges was some of the best things that the Chamber helped do. It just creates an environment where even though you may have competing businesses, all of these businesses are really partnering together to try to make the overall community and economy better.
I think you're getting the message. Economic development is a partnership. Teamwork with business, teamwork with city, teamwork with the chamber to get us what we need to continue to grow and make ourselves a better place to live. With that in mind, let's go on to Chris.
Chris Sparks. I'm the owner-operator Sparks Insurance in Early, Texas. Been in business a little over 20 years in the city of Early. So my wife and I were looking at starting the family, and what's the first thing you look for is school districts. And so Early had the great school district for us to move to, and that's where we wanted to raise our kids in that community, small town atmosphere.
My name is Stephanie Johnston. I work at Farmers and Merchants Bank in Early. I've been in the Early community since 2000. I like the small town. I lived in Rising Star. I've been part of the May School District, Brownwood School District, Early School District, and they've all been, I like the small town.
Early, the city of Early with all the highways. 3 highways intersect, it's a busy town, but small town atmosphere, that's what we wanted.
I was real nervous whenever Tony reached out to me about being on the board, because I was just, you've always heard about the MDD, but you didn't really know what they did, and really kind of how important they were, and how important it was when they worked with the city of Early. It's been exciting. Every time I go, it's something new.
The city as a whole does a great job. Their hard work, it's now you're starting to see it all pay off, and the growth, their appetite for growth is big. The ease of doing business with the city is very easy, so that's extremely attractive. With the high traffic count that we have in the city of Early, ease of doing business, appetite for growth, this is makes a great place to put your business.
It makes it easier to live here and work here, knowing that there's things going on, things are changing, things for the better, not just for Early, but for our surrounding communities.
The Municipal Development District purpose is to support local businesses by retaining and increasing the number of jobs in the community. And they also provide fertile work and fertile opportunities for new businesses, and they've done quite a bit of that. Along with them, we have our Planning and Zoning Commission, which assists in drafting zoning ordinances as well as adjustments, hearing requests for zoning changes, etc. Another positive of our growth in our community, and this helps, planning and zoning helps us manage our greater opportunities. As far as retail growth, goodness gracious. In 2021, we had 40 new jobs created in the city of Early. Several businesses either built, expanded, or renovated here in the city. Great interest has been expressed by others about developing and building and opening businesses here, some of which we can't tell you about yet, but they're coming. Aren't they, Tony? The city continues to be an active participant in the recruiting of businesses, try to find our fit with them in our city. Now we'll hear from Benny Alcorn. I'm here with Mayor Pro Tem Benny Alcorn, who's been on the City Council for for quite a few years, and as also the current president of the Early Municipal Development District Board. Benny, it's good to speak with you. Can you start out by telling us a little bit about why you decided to run for the City Council of Early?
Mainly we just wanted to help the community grow, and because of the new business that I had here, and I thought there was a lot of opportunity here.
Today we're going to talk about economic development. We've seen a lot of new businesses come to town. We got some new ones coming out of the ground right now. What are some of the businesses that you've seen in recent years come to Early?
Mattressville, and also the Just Right mattresses. We've had the Burger King come in, Dollar General that's out of the edge of town, and Canar RVs out there. We've had other restaurants that have opened, and the Holiday Inn.
Holiday Inn, Up in Smoke.
Up in Smoke, and another barbecue that's we're seeing a lot. Heartland Barbecue's doing a lot.
And Petco and the HTO is coming
soon. When you start to look at what has come and everything, it's pretty exciting to see what we've done and what we've been able to do. I'm president of MDD as well, and we meet pretty regularly and once a month, and it's exciting to see the businesses that are interested in coming to Early. One of the most exciting things for me is the opportunities that we see in developing this town center. It's always been said that Early doesn't have a downtown. All we have is a street. And this is so exciting that we are planning this, and the opportunities that it's going to open up, and the businesses that are already showing interest. It's an exciting project. When we first talked about it, we were talking about maybe a 20-year project, and now we've cut it down to, that we may see a 5-year completion or so and all, and it's exciting to see how fast it's moving.
It's exciting to see how many businesses have contacted us inquiring about purchasing property and developing.
People driving by can see the work on the street that's being developed there that's known as Kelsey Way, and from that, once that's built and open and everything, that'll be the way that other businesses will be able to get in there and do construction work and things like that. The town center is going to have such things as new restaurants. It's going to have housing, office spaces, retail. We're able to work with the developers, and they talk about that Early is on the grow. Early's going to be a big little city for long.
Big little city. Well, thank you very much, Mayor Pro Tem Alcorn.
Thank you very much, Mayor.
As we've kind of got the theme going here, we're economic growth, and we encourage economic growth. And as the pictures show, continued construction of new businesses and residents provides revenue to help us continuing to lower costs for our existing citizens. Probably the one, now we're finally to the juice of the thing, maybe the most important slides coming up as far as maybe you're interested. What's coming? Over here on the left, we've got Petco. They're due to open the fall of this year. Next is HTO, which sells iced tea of various flavors, and they are due to open this summer. Residential subdivisions, we have 400 lots in several different developments, subdivisions, ready to be sold, which will add to our housing. And recreational facilities in town center will begin to be completed by the end of 23. On the town center project, we have a slogan now: more than a dream, it's a plan. Kelsey Way Street Water and Sewer project will be finished this month. Kelsey Way construction will be complete summer of 22. Phase 1 infrastructure will be completed by the summer of 22. Engineering for the beginning of our Heartland Road water and sewer by September of this year. And then the additional infrastructure as needed, and that means as we sell the lots and they begin developing the project. Next slide. As far as the recreational side, construction of Town Center Pond, which is going to be 6+ surface acres and 16 feet deep in certain spots, will be finished in May of this year. Engineering and lighting of the ADA accessible walking paths, the batting cages, May of 22. Construction of the batting cages will be completed, beginning construction of the dog park and outdoor classroom by the fall. Next spring, we complete the pond construction, put a lighted fishing pier in, installed at 2 different locations on the pond, and stock it with fish. And the question was asked at lunch, is it catch and take or catch and throw back? It depends upon whether the fish you catch is legal or not. But that, for those fishermen in the audience, spring of 23, we hope to have that done, and finishing fishing pond, dog park, trails, etc., by the end of 2023. As far as the mixed-use development, this month we're surveying pads and building sites to begin the sales. We are currently in negotiations with several developers and others who want to purchase and build. The boardwalk design and engineering will begin by May of this year, and construction will begin hopefully in the fall, with it completed next spring. It's quite a project. And everybody that's seen that display over there has gotten really excited. And I'm not just talking about in this audience here, we're talking about potential developers and others. So what can we say to sum it up? Well, we're on track. This city is on track to becoming what is called a destination city, with something to offer those who live here as well as those who travel through. We're obviously seeing substantial growth, and it is all thanks to our citizens like you who show us support by shopping local, giving us feedback, and most importantly, volunteering your time where and when you can. The city may be seeing changes, but the community will remain the same. We are working to keep our rural town feeling while offering urban amenities. Even as inflation becomes an increasing problem, our city staff is taking the necessary precautions to keep expenditures down while also maintaining our infrastructure and providing support for our fire and police departments. We are thankful for what the previous year has brought us, and we're definitely excited about what there is for the future. Thank you for coming, and I believe with my watch we have come to the end of the allotted time, so I'll exercise my mayoral duties. And Benny wasn't in here, but he made the motion to adjourn, and Leland seconded it, and all in favor, say aye. We're closed.